Hi, my name is Luis Daniel Soto. This is for my Smartly EMBA. We're on mid-September 2019. So I am going to talk about the Brazilian stagnation use case. This case, the main question is related to a decision that we need to suggest to Alexander Tombini, which was leading the central bank around 2011. And both the inflation was much higher than what he had committed to, and the unemployment, which the president of the government have committed to. This is kind of something new. It's an extreme economic situation. It's something that happens, according to my research, it's a kind of a supply shock, and then it breaks what we learn about the Phillips curve, because both inflation and unemployment are high. And obviously, the key problem here is that policies that tend to lower the inflation also raise the unemployment and vice versa. So, what do we do? I'm going to answer to this question in a few moments. Now, before doing so, and once we have defined the situation, so Brazil was doing really good before that, from the 2003. The people were really happy. There was an expansion. The case, I'm not going to go, but I was able to find 15 facts on the case study that I listed in here, and I think these facts are important to do the analysis. There are also a total of 8 exhibits that are really interesting, many perspectives. Each graph provides a little bit of an overview. I did some additional research. I found that, the key problem here was that, some of the Brazilian government leaders were taking from the old company Petrobras, and 2 billion were missing. And this created an additional set of external problems to the economy, such as Brazil losing the investment grade, which compounds and results into loss of the currency value and a set of other things that are described in there. But again, I'm not reviewing all of those. Now, to answer that question, we also just really quickly need to also look at the assumptions. The assumptions here we're going to be is, number one, Brazil, it's an economy just like any others that we have explored. There's nothing really, really different about it that would make it an exception into the formulas and understanding and the principles that we have seen. Second, I'm going to also take the assumption that this solution is not for this guy to keep the job. Is something that is really looking for the benefit of the people and the country over the longer term. And the last assumption that I'm going to make is that eventually the economic situation for globally is going to continue to improving, because usually it's about long cycles and there's always, balances that happen into here. So based on my 3 assumptions in here, I would say the answer to Tombini could be yes, we should continue to increase the interest rate. And for one, the people like me that have lived in Latin America countries know that the interest rate is high, and we sometimes understand that. Maybe from a perspective of a different country like the US, when the rate is so low, it's more difficult to understand. But if we look historically, for example, there are other places where stagnation takes place, Germany, Zimbabwe, and the US. And in the US time, obviously, on the Great Depression, the unemployment rate was 25%, where in this case, the data that were provided, it says that it's 8% in Brazil. So, yeah, of course, all the economic situations are bad, but it's never easy to adjust to any of these crises. It's painful over a period of time. But the North Star, again, is how do we increase the real GDP? And how do we keep looking into the efforts and into the learnings and into the principles that we have understood? Now, it's not as simple as saying we just need to do this, we need to do more things. We need to look at the government spending that is probably going really, really high and might have an effect later on. We need to look at other things that are, less obvious, like effective communications, both from Rossini, from the central bank, as well from the president, from Rousseff, around changing the minds of the person, changing the perception of the people, and then combining and explaining them that this period is not over, that it requires the additional effort, and over time, just by doing them, then I am pretty sure we will get back in track. And so that's the assumption, that's the recommendation that I would make, and I would hope to be able to see benefits from the country and to return to Brazil for some of its marvelous caipirinhas and all they have to see. But of course, I would love to learn. I have not seen what really happened after that. That's something I want to do after producing this video. So thank you, and looking forward to hear from what the other and the feedback that you can provide to my own analysis. Thank you.